It's the cold hard truth. Everyone really want to know what's going on with her show. Just get on the air and you will know it's Sandra. The queen of the mile road is here, helping people from everywhere. Get on the phone and you will hear Sandra. Now she will tell you how it goes, but don't you ever step on her toes, 'cause you will hear the cold hard truth from Sandra. They say she's the hero in town, helping people from all around. You get a call, your money is found, it's Sandra. Some will call her late at night just to say that there is a fight, and she will not just leave it alone. She'll get up and call on the phone, and when politics starts on her show, everyone really wants to know the way the things will really go with Sandra. Some will start to criticize, get on the show and tell pure lies, but someday we'll realize it's Sandra. And when they start to argue again, she'll pull the heads to the wind, and soon you will be a friend of Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. Every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra.
Good morning, K-Man. Happy Monday. How is everyone doing this beautiful Monday morning? I do need to do one more thing, so please bear with me. Hello.
Recover Personal Injury Attorneys, helping injured people get what they deserve. Did you know that insurance companies have lawyers that represent their interests? Before signing and accepting any settlement, know your rights. Call us today for a free consultation at 924-9999. That's 924-9999. Recover. Your personal injury attorneys are on standby to assist.
I'm in the studio. There's so many little things I have to remember to do that I have forgotten over the last week. So here we are trying to get lights on and all sorts of other fun stuff. So give me a few minutes to try to figure those out again. But did everybody have a wonderful weekend? Hope you guys are safe today. We're going to be covering a little bit of regional and world news, which is breaking this morning and over the weekend. So we will get into some of those details here shortly. And of course, fresh off of vacation, I know you guys love a proper vacation recap. So what did we do? Well, one of the great things that we did is we went to a concert. So this is my daughter's first proper concert, I would say. And it was amazing. And she was naturally blown away. And she made a comment at one point that she had never seen so many people in her life. And I think that's about right. Because I was looking at the crowd going, I might be challenged to think if I've ever seen that many people as well. It was a lot of people. And so it was fun, getting dressed up for the concert. I'm going to show you guys a couple pictures and a few videos. So this was the highlight of her trip. Ironically, last year, I wanted to see this same performer in concert, but it didn't work out. I was trying to make it like a full family trip, Marlon, myself. But sorry for poor Marlon. He just does not get enough vacation time to accompany us. So, and his vacation time for this year, we've already allotted to the trips that him and I are going to take, solo couples trips. No kid. And so, yeah, he couldn't make it. And so, she was on her midterm break. So I said, honey, child, we're going to leave you home. See you later. Bye, Zeus. Bye, Merlin. And so we went and we had a fabulous time. And I keep telling you guys that one of the major objectives as parents when we travel with our children is not for them to just think of traveling as a shopping trip. Because listen, Caymanians, when we get on a plane, we're like, gotta hit the mall. I did not step foot in a Walmart this trip at all. Not even the parking lot. Can you believe it? I know I can't. It doesn't happen often that I don't end up going in a Walmart. Even my one-day trips, I'm like, let me just pop into Walmart real quick. There's something you can grab in a Walmart, right? A little piece of, I don't know, something, refresher or something. But I didn't do that. I didn't go. Nope, not at all. And so I can't really say that I missed it. It's like you walk in there and quite frankly, you don't even know what you're going for. You're just walking in just because. And then you always end up finding something. That's the badness in it. So it's not like you need anything, but when you go in there, something will pop up. Oh yeah, I need a bath bomb, or, you just see it and it looks like a good price. And so you end up grabbing it. I did not even do that. Nope, not at all. So I'm just trying to find something here in my studio. Yeah, so we didn't do that. We just did activities. We did some dinners. We caught up with people. And that was really, really a lot of fun. And then we did the Florida State Fair. So we did go to that. That was amazing. Except which one of y'all told me to get on a ride? Auntie was thinking, oh, this is a simple ride. We can do this one because I'm not really into the big roller coasters. I never really was, but sometimes when you're with your friends, you'll pretend to be adventurous and kind of get out there. And so I saw this little ride and I thought, oh, well, this one doesn't look too bad. The kids were going on it. I figure, well, if Gianna can survive this ride, surely so can I. Yes, as them people would say, you're bright. Definitely more ambitious than I should have been, to be honest. The ride was horrendous. I literally got my leg bruised up because it was pushing me to like one side. It went a lot faster than I thought. At one point, I thought I was going to lose my phone. I thought it was just going to go flying off somewhere. Thankfully, that didn't happen, but it almost did. And so my lesson is from that is, whoa, these things can be deceiving. So you don't have to tell me again that I won't be doing that. Oh, no, absolutely not. So, but it was still fun, You got to do it and said, hey, yes, I did that ride once upon a time when I was young and crazy, or not so young anymore, but still crazy. All right, let me just get your links sorted for you. Give me one quick second. So that was, but these fairs are so much fun because you get to do a lot of really fun things. And so many vendors. The one vendor that I genuinely look forward to seeing is the Mexican corn people, because y'all know I love corn, and my favorite type of corn is definitely Mexican corn. So I always look forward to finding those, and they were kind of far from where we started. And I didn't know, I should have looked at the itinerary a little bit closer, because I didn't realize that they were actually doing an air show. And oh my gosh, right about when we were leaving was when the two military jets were coming in for the air show. And I must tell you that I absolutely love a good air show. Okay, hold on one second. I just need to mute this YouTube tab here. And so we saw them come in, but we hadn't stayed for the air show, which was going to happen in one of the areas. So next time, I think I'm going to try to schedule my time there again next year around the same time so I can catch the air show, because I have not seen an air show in a really, really long time. And we used to go when we lived in the area. We used to go to MacDill Air Force Base. They had an annual air show every single year that was absolutely amazing. I don't know if any of you will remember this, but it was, one of the highlights, quite frankly, of my time living in Florida. I love a good air show, and what these guys can do with those, military jets is just truly amazing. So all in all, it was an amazing trip. Of course, I got to go check out Ocean Prime, my favorite restaurant when I'm traveling. Although this time it was kind of like, meh, I don't know. I didn't get to eat the bread because by the time they brought that out, I was already well into my appetizers. I mean, the food's good, but I don't know. Maybe I need to try something different on the menu now. I'm feeling kind of like, time to spruce it up a bit. But never shortage of food. Had a really great time, good experiences, and making memories for my daughter, which is the most important thing. So we're back to the regular phone line this morning because we're back to our regular studio. And by the way, our cousins messaged us this morning and they said, girl, you brought the warmth with you last week, because now it's down to 41 degrees this morning. Imagine doing your show on the lanai. I had to chuckle to myself. I wouldn't have mind 41 though. I'm going to be honest with you. I only walked with a little sweater and my My hoodie. What's the little alien character called again? Oh my gosh, Lilo and Stitch. Well, Gigi's into Stitch big time at the moment. Everything is Stitch this, Stitch that. And so that was really nice. You know, those two things were enough for me for this trip. But yeah, there was a couple mornings where it was pretty brisk, especially sitting outside. Has anybody lost a bunny? I feel like these little bunnies are always going missing. Anybody lost a bunny? We've got one that we've just received a message about. We'll post it on social media. It's a white one with some little dots or spots on it. I feel like you guys need to put collars on these bunnies because they seem to get out quite often. So put a little collar on your bunny. And yeah, I think that it'll be good. So this bunny went missing from Wednesday. They've seen it since Wednesday around the place. They seem to survive okay outside, though. I don't know a whole lot about bunnies, but you guys have to tell me. Do they normally, you know, just they're okay? Hold on one quick second here. Yeah, so bunnies can, where do they get water from when they're outside by themselves? I mean, I guess all of these things were perfectly fine before we domesticated them. So they must know how to survive. All right. So definitely I got to tell you about the highlight for me for this trip was actually one of my Cayman. Oh Lord, my brain just had a pause. My Cayman Voices segments I got to interview. And I am so tickled pink. Right. I am so tickled pink that I got to sit down with Mr. Calvin Christian, who is a Cayman Bracker that lives now in Florida. And wow, what can I tell you? Except it was such an emotional interview. It was all things amazing. You know, he's such a wonderful man, 91 years old. And it was, there were bits of it, when you see it, you'll appreciate why this really touched me. But there were bits of it that were emotional. He, you know, got a little teary-eyed, but so positive all the same. I just loved interviewing him. Thank you so much, Mr. Calvin. I drove all the way to St. Pete to be able to interview him, and I do not regret it one bit. It was just an amazing interview. Yeah, it was so special. I wish that I'm trying to get as many of them as I can, you know, from people, because I know the importance of doing it. And I know that it will one day mean a lot to their families. You know, 10 years from now, you're going to have those archives, those interviews. And you cannot put a price tag on hearing a loved one that is no longer with you, hearing their memories, their life story, and being able to keep that from one generation to the next. Truly, truly amazing. So look forward to that. We're going to drop that here, possibly this week even. It was really, really good. There's some others that I have that take me a little bit longer with the editing because they were really, really long videos. And so, you know, they're coming too. Don't worry, they're coming. So I'm gonna pull up some little video, some footage here of the concert that we did. I want to share this with you guys. You notice I haven't told you who it is. It's gonna be a surprise. Yeah, you're going to like it. I think you're going to like it. All right. So first, let me show you a picture of the auditorium, the people that were there. And I'm going to see if anybody starts to guess who I saw in concert. So here's an image. Look at this. I mean, there were layers of they went all the way up, as you can see, to the top. And then there were still people over to the other side and behind us. But look at that crowd, honey child. No wonder Gigi was like, I don't think I've ever seen so many people. I honestly don't think that she has. It was a lot of people. Yep. Take a look at that. And like I said, there's a whole other section to the side of this and behind that you would not have seen. Abby says the weekend lasted 2 seconds. Oh my goodness. So let me see what other pictures I can show you. No, let's do some of the videos. I got some other pictures, but then you'll know who it is because he's in those images. So let me just show you the video footage, which no doubt you are going to appreciate. Drum roll, please. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go.
Però quell'immagine di te così persa nei miei occhi mi portò la verità ama quello che non ha mai l'amore
All right, so let me tell you all about Bocelli. Amazing. The audience did not even want him to leave. They kept bringing him back on stage multiple times because I can tell you, yes, Risa, Andrea Bocelli. So amazing. What a talent, huh? So blessed to be so talented with that voice. I understand that his children are following in his footsteps, including his little daughter. He has a little daughter that's, I think she's maybe 12, and she's also performing. So sometimes they do family performances, and they had other people. So here's a lady who also performed with him. And everybody was just so incredibly impressive. So here's her, just to give you an idea of the other performers. Yep. So they had dancers. They obviously had duos with him and other people, other performers. It was just amazing. Truly, truly amazing. If you've not seen him in concert, folks, go see him. You know, it's one of those things that you will not regret. I was just taken aback by his talent. And, you know, you should see a concert like this at least once in your lifetime, just once, because then you've got that memory. And he's just, wow. I was impressed. So like I said, I wanted to see him last year. Ironically, he was in the same area last year for Valentine's Day. He had a Valentine's Day concert, and we weren't able to make that. And so this year, when I saw him in Florida again, on the lineup again, I was like, I am so not missing this opportunity. I'm going to kick myself, you know? He's got to be in his 70s. I don't know how much longer Bocelli's going to be around. I want to see him. So I made it a priority. And of course, I took Gianna, and she had an amazing time. She was just like, Mom, I've never seen so many people in my life. And it was a really great event. And I must say that, yes, there was a lot of traffic. Obviously, anytime I think there's a big event in that area, you know, traffic is always crazy. And they had police out helping to direct traffic. And thankfully, we were able to get a decent parking spot that wasn't too far away, just a couple blocks away. But yeah, it was well worth the, you know, his tickets are not necessarily the cheapest, so it was well worth that. And we had, you know, pretty decent seats, and it was just really, really an enjoyable time. Lots of fun memories. And the most important thing for me is for Gigi to have that experience now, at least seeing a concert like that once in her lifetime. Hopefully one of many. Hopefully she'll see many, many more. So yes, Risa, that's exactly who that was. And here's a few pictures of him trying to leave the stage, but they kept bringing him back. Leanne says, I love him. I know, right? They kept bringing him back on stage. They didn't want him to leave. They're like, no, come back. Oh my goodness. And he kept coming back, and we gave him a standing ovation, and then they take him off the stage and we'd bring him back again. So it was really, really delightful. Mm-hmm. Ali Banks said, but he's not singing in English. I know. Not a word. And yet there were no protests, and there was nobody up in their feelings about it. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh. Good morning, Robert. Marshall, did anyone complain about the language like a Super Bowl? Just wondering. No, they did not. And I can assure you that very few of them would have any clue what was being said. I mean, he could have been saying anything to us. And just because it sounded beautiful doesn't mean that it necessarily was. But there you go. We have to admit that whole Super Bowl thing is just a hot mess, and then some. Those are just people who are just prejudiced. It has nothing to do with, well, I guess for them, they're prejudiced against the language too, I guess. I don't know. Loco. Anyway, yes, it was wonderful. Thank you so much. And Andrew says, beautiful concert to hear. It was really, really beautiful. I cannot express in words. The live orchestra, OMG, you know, they had about 3 different sections to the orchestra. I'm no expert on orchestras, but they were amazing. The conductor, which is who you see there with him, with the white tie and white shirt on and his tux, did an amazing job. You know, I watch conductors, and because I'm not really like in that world, I have a couple questions. about what they do. But I don't know what I mean, yes, they're conducting, they're making sure everybody's on point, but I don't know if those people would perform well without them. But I take my hats off to the conductors because they make it look easy. They make it look so beautiful, so nice. So yeah, absolutely gorgeous. I mean, really and truly. So it was fantastic. Like I said, we missed the fighter jets, the actual show for them, but we still saw them coming in, and so that was kind of fun. And a little bit of shopping. So I got to tell you guys about the eyeglasses. I got to tell you guys about these eyeglasses, right? I don't know why I hadn't really thought of this before. I feel like I thought about it, but I didn't really action it. So you guys know that, they have these clubs, Sam's Clubs, Costco's, BJ's. I think BJ's are still around, but let me turn on my camera. There we go. Oh, gosh, my little things behind me are not on. I also need to adjust so you can see the proper Cayman flag and not just the British part. Lord Jesus, we need to see the other bits and pieces. Excuse me, hold on. There we go. Oy. And make sure we put that coat of arms in there so that we can ensure that you're seeing who we are. So, yes, let me see. They have these optical sections. Like I said, I haven't seen a good BJ's in a really long time, so I don't even know. Gigi started wearing glasses recently. Poor her. It was bound to happen. What can I tell you? I wear glasses. I do wear glasses now again. I had LASIK many, many moons ago that lasted quite a while, actually. And then after I got pregnant and had the baby, the eyes went ploops. They went to hell. But they're not as bad as they used to be, so I'm still thankful for that. So anyway, she started wearing glasses. Her dad also wore glasses, so I'm not, again, entirely surprised. And we bought her pair here, I'm not going to tell you that they were cheap because they were not. And so when I was there, I said, you know what? Let me kind of get her prescription, especially with kids. You're going to need at least a second pair, right? Because things happen. They break glasses, things just happen. And so I decided to go in there and kind of price them out. And can I tell you, the difference in pricing was astonishing for me. I was low-key shocked. So you can get frames. The Miami store, which I looked at last time, I saw frames for kids for as little as $50, $60. This one further up north wasn't quite as good. They were some were like 69, some were like 99. But still, that's US dollars. That's pretty good, right? So I said, all right. So I got a few frames. I got a frame and they quoted everything. So they do a lens for kids that is, scratch proof. It's poly something or another. I can't remember the term for it, but they just ensure that, the kids are going to, because again, kids, they drop stuff. They, I'll do all sorts of crazy stuff with glasses, right? And I'm just pulling up some more vacation photos. I got to show you guys these. These are so fun. Some of the fun stuff we did. So yeah. So anyway, then the lady says to me, by the way, we have a special on. And I said, oh, you do? I love a good special, honey child. Talk to me. Tell me what's going on. What's the special? On the second pair, you pay $3 for the prescription. And I was like, what? My brain couldn't quite understand what she was telling me. I'm like, what do you mean you pay $3? She's like, yeah, it's just $3. You pay for the frame and then it's like $3. I thought, wow, that's an amazing deal. So I could have gotten 2 pairs of glasses for half, less than half, in fact, if I do the conversion, of what I paid in Cayman for 1 pair. That's kind of crazy when you think about it. So, and you get very good variety. These are still, those of you who must wear name brand frames, these are still like Kate Spade and whatever, Oakley and whatever frames for kids. So I was like, wow, this is a really good deal. Anyway, the best part is, I don't know what insurance program you guys have, but when I checked with the insurance company that we have, they actually said, I said, well, you cover these overseas? They said, yeah. You get an allowance per year. I think it's like $400 for the year or whatever. So she already had used her allowance with the one that we ordered here. But I mean, literally, you could get almost 3 to 4 pairs of glasses in the US with your coverage. All I'm saying is check it out for future reference, because, I'm trying to help you save money. I'm trying to help myself save money. And so, the kids' glasses are cute. They have a cute little selection of kids' glasses. Think about it. Because as much as we travel, even if you are not traveling yourself, but you have somebody else coming back, glasses, that's just something they can just put in their bag. That's not going to take up no pile of room for you. Because it does take about, funny enough, she actually got one back within days. But they said, about a week to a week and a half. So the turnaround time can be around the same, but they did turn one around within like 2-3 days, which I thought was pretty cool. So that was awesome. Save money where you can. That's all I'm telling you. All right. Another amazing experience that we had, which I hadn't done before, is we went to a what's it called? A hot pot, where basically you cook your own food. I always go to the hibachi ones where they cook like in front of you. Those are fun. Whatever you pick off the menu, then they'll do it on, on all the big flames in front of you and all that fun stuff. Those are cool. But I've never been to a restaurant and had to cook my own food. So I was like, okay, try it once. In life, you should always say you tried most things once. The things that you don't try are the things that can kill you. Okay. So don't try drugs, not even once. Don't ever smoke once, because, it's hard to stop with just the one, and that will eventually kill you. So, there's some things that I know are an absolute no. Under no circumstances am I going to do those. But most things I'm like, okay, let's give it an experience. So here is, I'm going to show you guys some of these. By the way, before I finish with the glasses, let me show you this little pair. These were so cute. Look at this. Kate Spade glasses for kids. Really cute on her. All right. Let me see here now. So so we did the hot pot, and now I can say that I've cooked my own food. So they have a lot. It's like a big buffet, wraparound buffet, and you have all these raw things that you can choose what you want. And then you, yes, Jake, I'm a Costco member. That's where I was. I was at Costco. So like I said, I don't see BJ's in Miami anymore. And I haven't seen them in a while, actually. So I think maybe 1 or 2 are still around. But I am BJ's and Sam's Club. And more recently, I've been really going to Costco, because y'all know I'm into the Costco cookies at the moment and the bread and everything else. But Sam's Club has really good, they have a similar setup and selection as well. But yeah, Costco is where we saw those glasses and those specials. And they have all the things to just measure you there. They have the experts. They can tell you about if you want to get sunglasses, the different types of lenses, everything. And I tell you that price is with all the coverage, all the transition lenses, polarizing, this, that, the next thing. And so, yeah. But here is the hot pot. You pick your ingredients. They have one section that's more like salads and stuff. So they give you a broth. So you get to pick like chicken broth, beef, different ones. And then you can make like a soup first. And then you can put any of these ingredients, obviously, in your soup. Now, I'm a little bit panicky about raw food. Like, you will not really get me to eat too many raw things. Even sushi, when you're traveling, you got to be careful. You know, y'all want to be going to Japan and eating stuff that's still moving on your plate. I'm not quite that adventurous. Okay. However, this had such a wide selection of stuff that you could choose quite a few options, right? So I want you guys to, I'm going to do a trivia question today, just a fun trivia question. What do you think, speaking of being adventurous, what do you think this daughter of mine decided to try for the first time ever at this hot pot experience? Hot pot. Oh, Lord. Hot pot. What do you think she tried? 936. Let's make sure the phone lines are working. We're going to test out the phone lines here this morning. 936-2626. Just a fun trivia question. What do you think she tried for the first time? This will be one of those things that now she can put on her bucket list to say, yep, I had that. Any guesses? So they brought out her little section. They give you a little, there's like burners. I saw that guess. So they had different little things that you could, you know, you got your little soup pot, and then you could select from there what you wanted. Her cousin had just gotten back from Japan. I mean, these kids are getting such an amazing experience. I'm just thinking, we were not so fortunate to be able to travel and to do things. But boy, they are able to do so much. So they had, like, you could get little pasta. So this was my plate. So I had shrimp that I was going to cook on the grill. I had some meat, little pieces of steak. I had a little piece of barbecue ribs, little pieces there of crab meat. And I'm also not fond of, you see these crustaceans here, like in the shell. I think I've mentioned this to you guys before. I eat shellfish, but I don't really like to eat it in the shell. So even when I get a lobster tail, it's okay if it's just a tail, but I don't want to be looking at that beady-eyed lobster. No way. Ew. When I see their little eyes, I'd be like, yeah, not for me, thanks. So here's the pot. So you get a little pot, and I put a lot of vegetables. I had broccoli in mine, zucchini, corn, and noodles. I can't remember if I put any meat in mine. I don't think so. And then they have the little pork gyoza things. You can throw those in there as well. And so then you have your little soup once that's cooked. And then the big grill in the middle. All right, I see you guys guessing online, and somebody has guessed it. Let me see here. Barbara G says, I got the same exact frame for my glasses in the US for $120, and I paid almost $600 here. Yes, the same brand. Isn't that crazy? So here are some of the guesses. We've got frog, squid, octopus. Both Shamika and Anthony think octopus. Angela thinks octopus. Leanne thinks octopus. Cynthia says oysters. Shamika went with snails as well. Escargot, snails. Thank you, Shaka. Says, welcome back to reality. So one of you got it. One of you got it. And I'm proud to say that the person who got it right was, drum roll, please, Stacy. She tried frog legs. Yeah. Even to me, I was like, irks. Never had frog legs. Yeah. I remember biology in the 7th grade. That's why I can't do frog legs. Woo, honey child, them frog legs were still jumping in biology class. I was like, what? You want me to eat that? So if you look at the picture here very, very closely, the little piece in the middle, the grill, you'll see the frog leg right there. I'm trying to see if we have a video we can show you guys. So yes, one of the items that they had on the lineup was frog legs. And so she said, can I try frog legs? I said, sure you can. You just got to make sure it's cooked properly. So naturally, when we decided to, somebody said, can't hear you. Try refreshing, honey child. I'm good. Audio's good. Everybody good on radio? So yes, I said, well, how do you know when frog leg is cooked? So the little guy, he was such a fun little waitress. He said it's kind of like chicken in the sense that when it's no longer transparent, when it's no longer has that kind of transparent look, it's cooked. And I said, okay, can you undercook frog leg? I mean, we don't really want to be messing with that. And so I made sure it was well cooked. And then she tried it. And, he said to her, because we're like, what does frog leg taste like? Everybody says chicken. Everything tastes like chicken when you don't really know what it tastes like. So he's like, it's kind of like chicken. Radio's good. Thank you for the heads up. So when he said, it's kind of like chicken, I was like, I don't know about that. But anyway, so she got her frog leg and she tried one leg. And she was like, once you get over the ick factor, she's like, yeah, she's like, I can see why people say it kind of tastes like chicken. It wasn't that bad. So I said, okay, all right, honey child. So let me just see now if I can show you guys. Do we have the, dun, dun, dun. Do we have the video? Gonna show you guys. So she got to cook her own. Oh, yes, I have a video of her trying the frog leg. Hold on. Oh, this is going to be fun. Taking her first bite ever of frog leg. I think she probably would have it again. It wasn't, she didn't really have any major objections to it. So I do kind of feel like, yeah, she might do it again. And then I'm going to show you my little soup that I had put together. It was mostly vegetables for me. In my soup. And so she got to cook her own little soup and she only put noodles in her soup. Kids, they love them some noodles, boy. So, yep. Okay, here's her and her frog leg. All right. So this is her trying out the frog leg.
They make a sofa table, but they don't.
All right. Well, Katie is going to be trying frog legs for the first time. I'm trying it. Do we have a knife by any chance?
You have the Caesar. That's fine for you.
Okay. Yeah, because she was trying to use the little thong.
Knife though. Still want it.
All right. So she's trying to cut off a little piece, and then I had to step in and help her. She got one little tiny bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good child.
Oh yeah.
The look on her face was
Be adventurous. Just try it. What do you think?
Okay.
Tastes like chicken? Tastes like chicken?
It's chicken in the sea.
That's funny. What it tastes like?
The waitress is there. Wow.
Chicken, right?
What's the verdict?
A little bit different. Maybe.
We're still thinking about it.
It tastes kind of like chicken, but like
Okay.
You can wrap those out and then
a bit different.
Okay.
Different.
Are you going to keep eating it? Tastes good?
It's chewy.
take those and then you put it back. Don't worry.
All right. So she had another little piece. And then here was us doing a little soup. I put I had piece of tofu, broccoli, seaweed, corn, noodles, and I think mostly I had a vegetarian soup, really. With some corn in there, and then you have the middle section where you kind of cook. There was your frog leg cooking on there, like gyoza, some beans. But yeah, you cook whatever you want, and you put it on your plate. It was a lot of fun. Try it if you haven't taken your kids to one of these experiences. Definitely worth it. They'll appreciate when a waiter or waitress brings out the food from now on because, yeah. A few more images, and then we're going to be done with our vacation chatter. So, of course, in the States, you can take your family pets with you. So we ran into this beautiful, oh Lord, what are they called again? This beautiful human in form of a dog. Help me out with this breed. whose name is escaping me. They're the world's largest dogs. I feel like that's probably accurate. And this one is pretty big, and he's walking around. Great Dane. Yes. So there's a Great Dane. He was so pretty, really, really lovely. And of course, when people see them, no matter how many times you've seen a Great Dane, you're always like, wow, they're huge. I don't know if I could own a Great Dane, because for me, that's the equivalent of having another person in your house. I mean, they must eat just as much. How much? They can get up to 100 and odd pounds, right? They eat just as much as people. So here she is at the state fair, the big Ferris wheel. She saw goats, and she loves animals. And then when she got close to them, she's like, "Oh, Mom, they stink." I'm like, really? I said, "Yeah, they're goats. What do you think?" So then she's like, "Don't tell Dad we saw goats, because then he might want some curry goat." We just had a good laugh about that. But they were cute. And of course, most of these kids probably have never really seen goats before. Anita says, "I had frog legs at Grand Old House many years ago for my birthday." Oh, yeah? Oh, hey, Mark. Yes, sharing some vacation pictures and stuff. Excitement. The frog legs were a lot of fun. Let me see what else. So, of course, Easter's coming up. So a lot of the stores started to have Easter stuff out already, tempting these poor kids with all the Easter candy. So she saw this big oversized chocolate bunny. So naturally she's like, "Take a picture of me and the chocolate bunny." Frog leg should taste good, but I'm not curious, says Aliano. Jake says, "Did he just say it's chicken of the sea?" What? Laughing out loud. Yes, he did. Mark was like, "It's chicken of the sea." If you know that cultural reference, then you'll know what we're talking about. It was a really, really fantastic trip. Let me just see if I can share anything else here. And of course, you guys know that I still got up every single morning on vacay, did my show. So this is my little portable setup, laptop, my show notes, my board, my extra, extra screen, microphone. And so this was like the setup on the table. And then you guys saw, obviously, the backdrop, which a lot of you really enjoyed. You kept telling me, "Do more outdoor shows. That view is so pretty." And I think the natural light really does something for like your skin tone and everything else as well. So the show must go on, as they say. So every morning I got up and I did my little setup. There's a lot of dew on the table, so I always had to wipe the table off. But yep, did my little setup, sat down and did my show, so that people like Mr. Amelia won't be complaining to me that she's going to take my passport from me. And the other reason is I will be taking some vacations, 2 vacations at least this year, where there will be no show. So when I travel with Marlon, he is not as accommodating to me working on vacation. So I can tell y'all now, he's going to be like, "What? You're not taking that nowhere else." So I was able to get away with it this week, but because I knew that, I've got one in April, and then I've got another one, and I think October, where there will be no setup. I just wanted to, ensure that you guys didn't miss out on anything last week. I'm glad, because we had a lot of really good topics. And of course, we cannot leave out this little family member, Zeus. So while we were away, he was having a fabulous time with his doggy friend. So he was in doggy daycare. And I swear Zeus lost some weight while we were gone. Now, it makes sense because he was doing quite a bit of running up and down with his doggy friends, as he likes to do. So he felt a little bit lighter when we came back and picked him up. Yeah, I was like, "Okay, Zeus, I'll see you." But cute as ever. So he had a really, really good time. His own miniature vacation while we were away as well. But naturally, he was so happy to see us when we came back. Miss Anita says, "Morning, Sandra. You're such a great mom." Aw, thank you. Well, I hope so. I think parents struggle with different things. Because I am an entrepreneur, you got to make sure that you're like present. You're not always focused on work when you're with the kids and stuff like that. So that's my struggle. I think everybody has a struggle, and that's my struggle, is to be present and to, like I said, try to make her have fun experiences for sure. Andrew says, well, I hear iguanas taste like chicken, but I've never tried. Also frog legs or escargot. So everybody, I feel like everybody's had chicken. So our like reference point for stuff is like chickenish. Dr. Mark says, I call them human man dogs. Yeah, they're definitely, they need a whole bed to themselves. You need to get them a queen size bed if you have a Great Dane. They need a room for themselves. You can imagine how much they must eat. Oh my God. And then, once they eat, you got to take them to the bathroom. That's the part that I'm like, no. You have to carry a whole Foster's bag with you to do their pickup. Lord Jesus, no thanks. Miss Sue says, yeah, so big. My family in the UK had one of those house in their house. So big. Wow. Did they have a big country estate? Because I know those homes in the UK are not that big. Ooh, honey child. All right. So one more thing I want to tell you guys about that I'm so excited about. I've got a little project that I've been working on. Things are coming along nicely. We might do a reveal in maybe another month or so. I think we'll be ready. But that oftentimes when I travel, the bane of my existence is this foot pain situation that I'm always telling you guys about. I suffer from basically peripheral neuropathy is the kind of general conclusion, right? Combination of that and maybe a little bit of what's the other thing, the other pain called again? Anyway, it's like in the kind of in the ball of the foot region mostly, but depending on the shoe, other things can be triggered as well. And so it's been very, very challenging over the years. It has gotten worse as I've gotten older, I think for different logical reasons related to just health. Where the pain has become more pronounced, it's more frequent, it's horrible, quite frankly. And so anything that can give me pain relief, after my trip last year, I think it was, I tried medication because when we went to Zimbabwe, that was the year before, I had done a malaria treatment for like 10 days or whatever. And I noticed that when I was on the malaria treatment that week, I didn't have an episode. So I'm thinking, what was in that malaria treatment that could, so, I spoke to a few physicians about it. Any medication you take is going to have side effects. And so they're like, could be this, not really for long-term use. And so we settled on one medication that I tried for a while. Initially, it seemed like it was okay, but then it really wasn't helping that much. And so I was like, well, if I'm not getting a huge benefit out of it, I'm not a pill popper. So I'm like, no, I'm going to just leave that alone. So anyway, I've tried everything. Some of you have been very, very amazing in making suggestions. And there's a lady from the States who, ironically enough, I haven't picked it up yet, but I need to go see my aunt. She left something with my aunt that she said, I want you to try this one because this works for me. But I have actually found something, and I want to share this with you because I imagine a lot of you have, pain in the foot, neuropathy. If you're diabetic, for example, this is something I think could be of use to you as well, because a lot of diabetics have the same similar type of pain that I've described. And the cause is because of their diabetes and the sugar and so on. But one of the things the doctors always say is, soak your feet in Epsom salt, which I do, but I can't do a foot soak every single day. I wish I lived that kind of life. To me, that's like a luxury, right? So I try to do it even a couple times a week. I do think it helps a little bit. And so yes, I put some Epsom salt crystals in there, but I found this stuff. And the funny thing is, I've actually had this in my house for a while. And I saw it the other day and I said, you know what? I'm going to try this. And so I took it out of my stash. You buy stuff and you put it under the cupboards and then you forget all about it. So I pull this out and I've been using it now for the last couple weeks. And I must say that I've literally had no significant episodes to speak about. This is called Epsom It Nerve Relief. I'm going to show you guys the bottle. Right? You can find it like on Amazon. I don't know that I've ever seen it here in any of the stores. And it says soothing, super concentrated Epsom salt lotion. And I put this on my feet a couple times a day, once in the morning and then at night before bedtime. And especially when I travel, when I'm going to do like a lot of walking, I can expect to have an episode pretty much every single day at the end of the day. My feet are inflamed and I'm going to feel it with this. I travel, you guys know I travel with my TENS machine. I have one in the car. I have one at home. I always have a TENS machine because normally that's the only way that I'm going to get relief, right? I did not. One night I felt a little something on my left toe and I really wanted to sleep. So I took out the TENS machine real quick. But I must tell you, this is like a miracle worker so far. I just hope it keeps working. Try this. If you are having neuropathy pain in your foot, general neuropathy, whatever, try this Epsom It Nerve Relief. They probably have it in the stores here. I don't know, but it's amazing. Now, when I looked at the ingredients list, and they do tell you to shake it up, there's another tube that the pharmacist always tells me, use that. And that does help a little bit. But one of the common ingredients in that and this is this capsaicin, which I understand is like a heat. It's almost like peppers, like a hot pepper thing that they put in some of these ointments. And when I was speaking to Dr. Narajan the last time I went to see him, because I was showing him that one, he was looking at the ingredients. He said, yeah, that capsaicin, he was telling me why it does seem to work for a lot of people with that ingredient in it is because somehow the body reacts differently to, I'm trying to see if I have it here somewhere in my bag. I always tend to have a tube or so around the place. He said, yeah, the body responds to that like peppery thing on the skin. It's almost like a counterintuitive way that the body responds to it. And so that will help with this type of pain as well. But it's amazing. So it has a really high concentration of Epsom salt, magnesium sulfate. And I am now taking a magnesium because magnesium, you might be low in magnesium. So try that as well. And so, yeah, I have really, somebody's calling me. Who's calling me? 876 number. Okay. Somebody from Jamaica. Huh. Hello. Good morning.
Yes, Michelle, good morning. We're online now?
Yes.
All right. I'm sure then.
Okay. Okay. Who that? No clue who that is. Okay. Somebody from Jamaica wants to talk to me, honey child. Speaking of people from Jamaica. Anyway, get this. I would highly recommend it. Try it out. What did you start chucking? I just started Jelkin. What is Jelkin? And it seriously improved my health. Well, I don't even know what that is. Buenos dias, Miss Alba. Listen, speaking of jam, I get phone calls and messages from all over the world. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised when people are reaching out from Jamaica. I'm going to share this one with you guys because I want to warn my Jamaican people. You guys have got to be careful. Your desperation for employment puts you at risk of being taken advantage of. So I do want to talk about this. This is a good segue. Like I said, I don't know why that guy's calling me from Jamaica. And he's calling direct. He wasn't even calling in WhatsApp. He's spending some dollars to call me. All right, honey, chill. But a lot of people have been taken advantage of. They reach out. They're like, Miss Sandy, this person stole my money. They did this, they did that. And so, why am I not able to scroll up at the moment? Hold on. Let me see what's going on here. Trying to get to another section and it's not allowing me to do so. Give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. I think I solved it. All right. So, I do get a lot of questions and comments and stuff. And I try to help, but there are times when I feel like you guys are setting yourselves up. Can I just refresh for a minute? Give me a second. This thing seems to kind of be stuck. I want to add this audio, but it's not letting me scroll down. Okay. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to refresh. I'm going to just play some music for you while I refresh this tab. Okay, let's just get a little musica going. All right, 1 second.
I hear the people talking. What are they talking about? This world's gone crazy, and I'm trying to find a way out. Nobody knows where we're going, or if we're going at all. Nobody cares if we stand, if we have nowhere to fall. It's a singing symphony, playing as the ship goes down. It's a porcelain epiphany.
All righty. Okay. So this lady reached out to me on Saturday, and I think this is a teachable moment. That's why I want to share this, because you can be easily taken advantage of when you're in a desperate situation. So have a listen to this.
I'm trying to get a job. Whether
Okay, hold on. Let me see which message came first.
okay, good morning. I saw your stream on YouTube. I was wondering if you can do permits, or if you know of anyone who do permits.
You guys can hear that okay, I think. And then this was a second message.
I'm trying to get a job, whether to take care of an elderly person or any other job a female can do.
Okay.
But me just want somebody who seriously put it in for me. So me watch you something and me say me will contact you.
All right. So this lady basically said, she saw me on YouTube, and she is looking for a job. So she wants to know if I can take out a permit. So of course I said, well, unless you're in the media business, or maybe office administration, we're not really oops, sorry, that got muted. So I was saying to her, she's looking for a job. And I said to her, for me personally, I'm not hiring anyone in the domestic area at the moment. So, I can't help you if you're media or something else, but I can't help you with domestic work. So she said she wants to she wants to help with an elderly person. But what I want to say is, it's important that, and I get it, when you really need a job, you would be willing to do almost anything. So I took the opportunity to share with her how the laws work here in the Cayman Islands. So I think it's important for her to understand, this was my response to her, to understand that it's not just about someone taking out a permit for you. That person actually has to have work, right? So it is against the law for someone to take out a permit who doesn't actually have gainful employment for you. So in other words, like I said to her, they must be able to pay. They take out the permit. They're responsible for paying for the work permit, not you, right? They need to justify to immigration that they need this job, and it's a permit job. So in other words, they can't find someone in the local community, Caymanian particularly, to be able to do that specific job. And, I think most domestic permits get approved without much fanfare. However, they also need to be able to pay your benefits. Listen, I just had to renew Miss Stacy's insurance the other day, and these things don't come cheap, right? So they better have money to be able to pay for insurance, because that's the law. The employer, you can do it 50-50. So there are some employers who make even domestic workers pay for half, because that's the law, that's the requirement, pay for half of their insurance. So those of you who have employers who are paying the full amount, consider yourselves fortunate, because that goes above and beyond what the law actually requires. Now, pension. I know for domestic workers, that's not a requirement, but in other types of work, you got to make sure they're also paying your pension. I just wanted her to be very, very careful, because I can see if you're going to reach out to someone, I mean, she doesn't know me, obviously, as a total stranger, because you're really desperately looking for a job. Don't make anyone take advantage of you. Take your hard-earned money. Even if you don't have any money, a lot of people end up borrowing money in order to, get someone to take out a permit, because they're going to make you pay for it. Anyone who suggests that you pay for your permit, that is against the law. You should not do that. Okay, so don't fall for it. And so she ended up actually sharing. She said, yes, because I met someone who told me to send him money and I can come and seek jobs. So I watched your streams and I said, I'm going to ask you. Thank you. And I said, no. That person's a scammer, because it's not supposed to work like that. So she did say that she's in Jamaica and she works at a supermarket and she can't send my money just like that. So I asked, I really appreciate you telling me. So I'm glad that she hasn't fallen for a scammer yet. Anyone who wants you to send them money to get you a job, just be on high alert that chances are that is a scam, because you shouldn't have to pay. And some of these people, they claim that they're employment agencies. Listen, scammer alert. We've exposed a few of them already, and they are working overtime to separate people from their money. And they're always sending out these messages and using these online, platforms, TikTok in particular, to try to do some recruitment. Your family, Mr. Steve McField, back in the day, he had some Great Dane dog, and it was just tall as I was. Oh, he had a dog, really? Oh, I mean, he had a Great Dane. I didn't know that. That's interesting. All right. Good stuff. Good morning, madam. Big shout out to my folks there in East End. You're not on. I tried to get you, but I can't get you. Oh, yes, you got to follow the channel, honey child. Let me share that with you then. Yeah. Okay. I want to make sure everybody can find us. Who wants to find us? You have to follow the channel. Some of our seniors don't really know a whole lot about using WhatsApp, so I'll be trying to help them out. Okay. All right. Let me just have a look and see what else. Good morning. He came here for a performance at Pedro Castle a couple years ago. Oh, I remember. And if you remember, I remember. But if you remember, I could not support that, because these people were claiming, first of all, they had ridiculous tickets. This is for Bocelli, ridiculously priced tickets. And then they were claiming that it was for some charity to be able to get some machine here. What kind of cancer scanning machine? And you guys notice that we've never heard a single update since then about that so-called charity. They claimed it was a charity event bringing Bocelli here. So I don't mind paying to see Bocelli, but if you're going to do it under somewhat sketchy and potentially false, a guise of charity and whatever, to supposedly help Caymanians with some cancer scanning machine that never came to fruition, I can't support that. And so I had my suspicions. And of course, like I said, we have never heard a single word about that from those people ever since. So who knows what happened to the proceeds? Only God can tell you, because I sure can't. Gabby says we're still here to have to tell people these things in 2026. At this point, if you're not doing your own research, then you're just being willfully ignorant. I mean, we have to take it for granted, Gabby, because we're in the know, and Cayman is small enough where if you're here, you should know by now. But I suspect that a lot of people overseas, I don't know exactly what part of Jamaica she's in. Although miraculously they seem to have heard about Cayman, I don't know that they fully understand how things work. So I get you. And, yes, I agree to a certain extent that people need to educate themselves. But I do believe that it is fairly easy to be fooled by scammers for some people. So don't be fooled. And of course, every time somebody in Jamaica contacts me about coming to Cayman for a job, I then think of those idiots on Instagram and TikTok who want to put up these videos about how horrible Caymanians are and telling their own people don't come to Cayman. And I'm just like, clearly nobody really hearing your message. I mean, despite all the negativity that they want to say about us, we are still one of the best places in the world. Just correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that in, Jamaicans travel all over the world. So they have a huge expat community in every single country. But I believe per capita, Cayman has the highest number of Jamaicans outside of their own country. Stand to be corrected if anybody has any other data. But I think given what we know about the numbers, that's probably correct. Because about 50% of the population here are Jamaicans. So that would make quite logical sense. Per capita, we have more Jamaicans in Cayman than anywhere else in the world. So, big shout out to Cousin Mark. We were not here for Valentine's Day, obviously, and he still made Gianna and I feel extremely special. We got Valentine's Day presents. We got flower bouquets, and, just showing the family love for everyone in the family. Of course, his lovely wife got a wonderful bouquet and stuff as well. So thank you so much. We really, really enjoyed that. Gianna loved all of her presents. Of course, one of the items in there was a Stitch mug, and she was over the moon about that for sure. So thank you, sir. Really appreciate you, making us enjoy the day. He stepped up for his cousin Marlon and, made us feel amazing. There's one other thing that I wanted to say. Let me just see here now. Oh, so I think I told you guys that I'm doing my course exams. Yes. And I did my exam. Now I'm doing part 2 of the course, which is features and what's it called again? Oh, Lord. So we just had our first meeting this week. I've been meeting with my tutorial. I've been doing my tutorials and meeting with my tutor, freelance and features. So this is like the second part of the course. I think it's 3 or 4 parts that I have to do to get my little diploma in journalism. And so the first part was very, very interesting. And let me just show you my grades, because we gotta be accountable. So we do different sections, and so you're not gonna believe the area that I got the lowest grade in. Shame on me, because I really shouldn't have. But anywho, here we go. So I'm making you guys keep me accountable, because the days that I don't feel like doing homework or doing any reading, I'm sharing my grades with everybody so that they know if I fail, it's all on me. It's because I didn't put in the work. Nobody else's fault, right? Yes, I'm busy, but here we go. So these are for the first section. These are my grades. This is my little transcript. So news and features, I got 73.3. This is the UK grading system, by the way. So when I first looked at this, I was like, oh my God, that's horrible. But this is the UK system. So 50 to 69 is a pass, 70 to 79 is merit, and 80 plus is distinction, right? So I'm in the mostly the merit section. One class I passed. So broadcast, I did 77%. Government and law, I did 60.5%. Not really the best, but I passed it. Imagine me only getting 60.5% with government law. Of all of the things, as much as I'm sitting here holding government accountable. Ooh, honey child, I need to do better. So those are like my written assignments. My examinations, obviously, I studied and I did a lot better on those. So I got, now, no surprise here, media law was my highest score. I got a 94 on my media law because, I have a law degree. So that came in handy. There are a lot of things that I understand about the law and about legislation. So that I did quite well in that part of the exam. And then on the news reporting bit, I got an 84% there. So then my average there was 89%. And then I had to do my articles submitted during this module. So those are my tutorials. My last two, I got an A- on those because he keeps saying that I need more quotes. And I keep telling him, sir, nobody came out and goes on record. I can't be quoting people because they don't want to be quoted. So it is difficult to do quotes. But anyway, so overall, I've got an 82.5% for the first journalism and news writing segment that we did. So technically, I skirted by, and 80% plus is distinction. So doing A-okay so far. So that's my score with distinction, 82.5%. So, and I was only half. I mean, I was probably putting in about 75% effort. This wasn't me giving it 100% by any stretch of the imagination. So I got to buckle down a little bit more and I got to focus because I know that definitely I could be even higher. I kind of got ready for the exam. So that demonstrated itself, but sometimes I'm a little bit lax with my assignments and stuff. So now I'm going to buckle down a bit and try to get an even higher score for the next module. So I'll keep you guys posted, but yes, still did 80% plus. So technically still with distinction. So you gotta, if you're going to commit to something, at least be 75% in. So there you go. All right. So the new module started this week. And I will do my best. I've got to do a feature. So here's what I'm thinking for my first tutorial that I'm going to submit. I need to watch Frankie Flowers' movie, The Bluff. Okay. And when does it drop on Prime? Do we have a date? Hold on. Let me see. I actually saw an interview with him. I shared that. So it is going to drop on Prime on the 25th, which is 2 days from today. That's Wednesday. Yes. So I'm going to watch it and I will do a review because we have to do like a review. So we can do like restaurant reviews and stuff, but I think I'm going to do a movie review. So I will do a review of the Bluff movie for my first tutorial assignment for this next segment. Yep. So I'll get that. I'll watch it this weekend and then I will submit that and I'll let you guys know what the grade is that I get on that. Sometimes these reviews are hard though, because, if you really like a movie, it's hard to say anything bad about it. But Frankie has been making the rounds and I'm so proud of him. He's been doing an amazing job, talking about the movie, doing the whole media circuit. And Frankie, we're very, very proud of you. It's amazing to see that you are doing big things in Hollywood. And this is a big deal. I mean, listen, it's not the big cinema, but I tell you what, the way that movies are produced and stuff right now, you no longer have to have this big cinema experience in order to be a successful movie producer or any of that stuff. So it's encouraging to see Frankie doing his thing. Prime has millions of members. And so his movie might actually get more views on Amazon Prime than it would even on the big screen, because a lot of people are not doing the whole big screen experience anymore. No, they're more low key these days. So congratulations to Frankie, Miss Priyanka, and all of the other people involved in the production of this movie. We were very, very proud. If you went to the screening last week, I know that the feedback from the screening was amazingly positive. And of course, Frankie came on the show and spent a little bit of time here with us as well. So it was nice to have him here. All right. So I think we were going to post up a few pictures about that on our social as well. And then there was a bigger premiere in, I think it was in LA, and some government representatives, the minister ranking, went to that as well. Oh, Minister Rankin is streaming The Bluff at his beach in East End Wednesday night. Go and watch it for free. Well, I'm already a Prime member, so I'll get it for free anyway, but okay, that's nice. I did not know that, so that's awesome and amazing to hear. Yeah, it's kind of nice to watch movies outside, though. Nice ocean breeze and everything. So for those of you who want to experience that, I don't know, do you have to do anything, Anthony, in terms of, I'll reach out to the minister, is there any required like registration or anything, or you just show up, bring a blanket? You just show up, blanket and cup of soup or something? Okay. All right, I'll try to get some more details on that, but thank you, Anthony, for sharing that with us as well. Let's talk a little bit about what's happening in the rest of the world. Folks, Mexico right now is a bit of a hot mess. I'm so sad to see this. Mexico has always been one of those countries, though, that quite frankly, you would have been hard pressed to get me to go to Mexico. Not for nothing, but the cartel in Mexico, they're next level. And in this episode that they're having right now is demonstrating exactly why they have the reputation that they do. Listen, these people, just to send a message to someone, they take people off the highway and make you disappear. Like they do some next level stuff that it's like only in Mexico does this kind of stuff really happen. Like they are the law unto themselves. Like they've had people say stuff online about them that they didn't like and they just found them. There was an incident where a couple of months ago, maybe a month or two ago, a young lady and her dad, I think she might have been like 16 years old. He's a millionaire, whatever, drive down Mexico in his nice fancy car. And they shot up the car like over 100 times. You know why? Because he wouldn't pay for, their fees for protection. And this is what they do in Mexico. They make entire villages of people disappear. Sometimes they'll find like a village of 100 people. They just disappeared. And then years later, they'll find them buried in a shallow grave somewhere. They're just crazy. They are next level crazy. And I am not up for it. And so I hear people telling me, oh, I'm going to go to Puerto Vallarta and this and that. And I'm like, oh, good luck. Adios. Adios, amigo. Have a good time. Yeah. Honestly, I couldn't see it. I have never had a desire. People are like, oh, they have such beautiful beaches. I'm like, we got beautiful beaches right here in the Cayman Islands. I can find beautiful beaches in a lot of places. And guess what? They're going to be safe beaches. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, nobody not going to be trying to kidnap me off the beach. So somebody said Colombia too. I think Colombia has settled down. Like Colombia is not quite as bad as Mexico. Like in Mexico, like legit, the cartels are next level. They run in the government. They control everything. That's why I kept saying, you trumpets, who going on about, oh, you know, Trump is trying to curtail drugs, blah, blah, blah. Well, one thing I know about Trump, he's actually a coward. And he really is going after low-hanging fruit. Because if Trump was serious, child, please. First of all, the ones who are really pumping the drugs into the United States of America are actually the Mexicans. The fentanyl is coming by way of Mexico. Okay? So go after them. But he not about to start in a war with them cartels, because let me tell you something. They would literally cross the border in the United States of America and take Texas. That's how idiotic these cartel people are. You think they playing? Huh? They have got armory and stuff like you would not believe. These people are crazy. So let me show you a few videos and tell you a little bit about what is going on right now. And there was a whole thing this morning that if you're stuck in Mexico and you're not a Mexican citizen, you know, you need to get out as quickly as possible, because this situation, there's no bueno. I mean, it's like, caramba. Hold on one second. Let me just get you some of the latest and greatest information on what's happening over there. So it all got kicked off because this guy got killed. Give me 1 second here. I'm trying to get his name for you guys. So some of the tourists are stuck in Mexico, and you know, this is quite crazy. So apparently they killed this cartel kingpin named Nemesio El Mencho Oseguera Cervantes. What a name. Okay, him. Nemesio. We'll just call him El Mencho. That's his street name. Okay. And he was head of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. These would be some of the younger ones, I guess. And he was killed in a Mexican military operation. Now, you know that when the Mexican military tries to take these guys, it's like crazy, right? Even if they capture them, they go to prison. They like what's the other guy there that's in the U.S. now? I'm surprised Trump hasn't let him out yet. But, you know, they dig tunnels and then they escape into the U.S. So they have a whole tunnel system there in Mexico. They do a lot. Like it's crazy, right? So anyway, the U.S. provided intelligence support for the operation. Watch out, Trump, according to the White House. And they have a whole Muerte del Mencho in Mexico. So you can actually read the article in Spanish about the death of El Mencho. What does El Mencho stand for? What does that mean? Anywho, this now has sparked his, I guess, Jalisco New Generation Cartel. They're pissed off that their leader was killed, and he was considered Mexico's most wanted cartel boss and head of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. And so this has sparked widespread unrest, with suspected gang members torching buses, businesses, clashing with security forces. More than 250 blockades are reported across 20 Mexican states. And this is according to Mexico's security cabinet. Tourists are stranded. So the U.S. State Department urged American nationals in parts of Mexico to seek shelter and remain in residences or hotels, because they've also been targeting the airports. So other tourists were stranded after several U.S. carriers suspended flights to Puerto Vallarta, and they have a whole list of what you can do if you're stranded. So the Mexican president, Claudia Sheinbaum, she is starting her daily press conferences amid the country's unrest following the death of this cartel leader. I guess she's trying to calm things down. And all of this went down yesterday in a military operation. So literally the place is like on fire. I'm going to try to get you guys some footage here. I'm going to show you some footage of what's happening. Because, yeah, it's muy loco. Let me see. Hold on one second here. Just let me see if I can drop this video for you guys. So this is a very unsettling situation. You know, naturally, nobody wants to go on vacation and get stuck in this type of a situation. So here's some footage from yesterday that was shared with us. I know we posted some of this on social media. So if you've seen it on social already, this is like the airport. People literally running in the airport for their lives because the cartel is taking over the airport.
Corre, 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 corre. Corre, corre, corre.
When you see the security guards running, like the police, policio, oh my gosh, you know you don't know this is serious. It's like, what? Security running? They like, we're not taking no chances either. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm gonna show you another one here in a second. I mean, people just running for their lives. Like, this is crazy. They've taken out the heavy artillery to try to prove their point. So here's another one from the airport. This looks like probably some of the staff at the airport as well as. And this is like on the tarmac of the airport. You saw one of the luggage carrier things. People running, just trying to get out of the way. You hear gunshots there in the background. Right there with his daughter. Some people are still trying to drive the yeah, so you can see the this is literally on the airport runway, right? You see the baggage handler machines, you see the gateway, the what's that piece that connects to the plane? I mean, it's just crazy. So it's a very, very unsettling situation at the moment. This is one of the videos of someone sent this to me, and they said that this was vehicles from homemade armor ambush and attack Mexican National Guard. So this is a video. There's no audio in this one, but this is a video of the National Guard being attacked by these cartel members. And look at what they're doing. Look at what they're doing to the National Guard truck. Just decimating it. So it is crazy what's happening there right now. So hopefully there's no Caymanians in Mexico. All I can tell you is get the heck out of there, because this is not a good idea to be there at this time. So they have been, tourists that are stuck there. The Mexican League matches postponed, obviously, after this. And the U.S. government is basically just telling you guys to shelter in place because they can't get you out right now. And it's probably more dangerous to try to get to the airport. A lot of these, highways and stuff that you have to traverse to get to the airport are very, very dangerous right now. So there was 4 high-level soccer matches meant to happen on Sunday. They were all postponed. And of course, this could potentially, I guess, impact the World Cup host city of Guadalajara. What a mess. So if you are a football fan, you'll have to, I guess, see what happens there. I don't know. But right now, it's more about people just trying to get out of the get out of the area as much as possible to get out of Mexico. And this will spill over into other areas, you know, if you're not careful. So who is, let me just see if we can find out who this guy is. Let me see here. You know, there's some big cartels in Mexico, and of course, they are no doubt very okay, hold on one second. They're no doubt you know, really upset when their cartel leaders are taken out. It's kind of interesting because I think in most places in the world, it would kind of be like, you know what? We will just find a new cartel leader. Not these people, honey child. They're like, oh no, we're gonna burn down the whole country first before we do that. So incredibly sad. My goodness. This type though this type of violence is not unprecedented, but when you see it happening, it really shocks you, because it just doesn't happen that often where it's at this level. But like I said, Mexico's a little different. They're kind of serious on a different level, to be quite frank and honest. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about this guy here, because there's some interesting stories about him. El Mencho. Who is El Mencho? Let's see what we can find out about El Mencho. So El Mencho es Rubén Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes. You know, Spanish people have like 4 names, right? Because normally they have 2 last names. So Rubén Nemesio. They put Nemesio in quotes. I'm assuming Nemesio is maybe his nickname as well. Oseguera Cervantes, known as El Mencho, the powerful leader of the Mexican Jalisco New Generation Cartel, also referred to as CJNJ. And apparently he rose to prominence after the fall of El Chapo. Oh, okay. So Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, we know him. He's former head of the rival Sinaloa cartel. And he's in an American jail, as far as we know. He is still in jail. So hopefully Trump doesn't pardon him, honey child, because you know Trump believes in pardoning everybody. If you have enough connections and somebody can get their palms greased with $1 million here and there, you'll get pardoned. So he hasn't pardoned Guzman El Chapo yet, but you know, all of us kind of low-key looking at it like, oh, it's coming, honey child. Soon come. All right. So oops, let me see here now. I'm trying to get some more footage for you guys. So yes, so this fellow now, under his leadership, CJNJ expanded aggressively across Mexico, battling the Sinaloa for control of key trafficking corridors into the United States and cementing its status as one of the world's most formidable drug trafficking organizations. So this is all about the drug money and so forth and so on. So let me just see. One second here. Okay. So his death marks the fall of one of the most influential. Are they considering that a fall already? Like they don't have a plan B? They don't have what's his name? El Mencho número 2? I mean, I thought he would have had somebody else who just stepped in. Well, they make it easy for an organization to topple. So it says that his death marks the fall of one of the most influential and elusive cartel bosses of the post-El Chapo era, long viewed by the U.S. and Mexican officials as a central architect of fentanyl and meth I'm trying to say the full word, methamphetamine trafficking. And that's right. And I mean, you guys know on this program, I've always said that he's blowing up little boats in the Caribbean, which is stupid. And then talking about fentanyl because they're not the ones, those boats are not, their target audience is not the United States of America at all. So he's blowing them up for other reasons, nothing to do with drugs. And I kept saying, if he wanted to be serious about it, this is what he needed to do, was go after the Mexicans, because the Mexicans are the number one source of fentanyl and meth trafficking in the US, as well as other things. They're still doing cocaine, they're still doing weed, marijuana, and stuff as well. But the fentanyl business apparently is a good business to be in for these drug lords. So Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau said that he had been informed that Mexican security forces had killed Jose Guerra, calling it a significant victory. So El Mencho, they said that they killed him in one of the bloodiest and most he was considered one of the bloodiest and most ruthless drug kingpin. Let me show you what he looks like. You can't always go by these images because a lot of times they actually change their image. They get plastic surgery and stuff like that. So let me just see if we can get a photo of him. But anyway, so they say, that they've killed him over the weekend. And yes, El Mencho was killed on Sunday, just yesterday. And there's now a travel alert in the area from multiple areas of Mexico. They're urging U.S. citizens to shelter in place due to ongoing security operations and related road blockades and criminal activity. And of course, I guess if you're in Mexico, you probably know where those areas are. But hold on. Let me show you some of the pictures of exactly what the devastation is looking like with this outbreak. I mean, look at this bus. I hope to God there were no people on this bus, but look at this. Hold on. Wow. Was there anybody on that bus? Jeez, peace, blouse and skirts. I mean, wow. That is next level. Crazy. The whole bus is just like, they set it ablaze, basically. My goodness. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, we have a picture here of him. So this is the best picture they have of him. Not the best picture because it isn't, not very clear, but clearish. So I guess they had some intel that they were using to be able to get to him. What a hot mess. So, just be careful. I actually have a friend here I think he is originally from Mexico. He's lived in Cayman for a number of years. And at one point he had moved back. And so I'm going to message him today and check and see if his family's okay. And, so this is a soldier standing by a charred vehicle after it was set on fire in Conzio, Michoacan state on yesterday. So El Mencho is a former police officer. Lord God, what is wrong with you? These police officers, they become criminals more than anybody else. So he's a former police officer. He's helped to found the CJNG around 2009 after splintering from the Sinaloa cartel. And in the years that followed, the group evolved from a regional faction into one of the most dominant trafficking networks in the world. Wow. The U.S. authorities steadily increased the reward for information, leading to his capture at one point up to $15 million, placing him among the most wanted fugitives globally. So a former U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration official, Paul Crane, once described him as public enemy number one and said he commanded an army of thousands. Whoa. Huh. Pretty wild. Let me show you a picture of some of the drugs, some of the fentanyl and stuff. And you know how incredibly lethal this is meth. I'm going to show you a meth picture here. You know how incredibly lethal this stuff is, right? But here is a meth haul that they had recently. Look at that. Whoa, that's a lot of drugs. So that was seized in Atlanta, more than 1,000 pounds of meth linked directly to the violent cartel Jalisco New Generation. So the DEA showed that was one drug bust. So they are using rocket launchers, propelled grenades to bring down a military helicopter that happened in 2015. Rocket launchers. Rocket propelled grenades to bring down a military helicopter. Huh. So they do use social media. They send messages on social media and public displays of force. And so they say that this death removes one of the most prominent or dominant figures in Mexico's criminal underworld and could reshape the balance of power amongst rival cartels. So again, you would have thought he had like a number two man. But maybe there's no succession planning in this business. I don't really know how it works. Okay, so that's happening. So again, I really hope that no one, from Cayman is being impacted by this. But I can see a cruise ship. Did you guys see this picture of the cruise ship? So they're blocking major roads, they're torching cars and buses, and their fights with government authorities. And of course, anyone who gets in their way is likely to be a problem. So this port is one of the areas that a lot of the cruise lines, I think, go into as well. So I suppose if you have a cruise booked and you're planning to go in Mexico, you're not going to have that happening. So people are being advised to stay indoors while international flights have been suspended. So you cannot get out right now. So let me just show you another picture and then another video here. This is pretty wild. Good morning, Sophia. How are you? Let me see. I can't imagine living in this type of chaos. This is so scary for those poor people. All right, so this is what part of the city looks like from that perspective, like a proper war zone. And there was one more video. Let me just see that I had here. If I could pull this up for you. So a lot of this stuff you'll see trending on social media, of course. And yeah, it's just pretty wild. So the people of Mexico, our thoughts are with you. The innocent people who get caught up in all of this, good luck to you. And it's just an unbelievable situation, quite frankly. All right. Of course, we will keep an eye on this. There's quite a bit. There's quite a bit of footage. I'll see if we can get some more. I know people like to stay in the know. All right. So last week we covered the arrest of Prince Andrew. Lots of stories still swirling around about that situation. There's more emails coming out. My apologies. Farrah Ferguson, she was so desperate to be close to Jeffrey Epstein. She wanted to marry him at one point. She also begged for a job as his house assistant. So that has come out in the emails as well. About how desperate she was for money. So there was that slew of emails where she Man, how broke could she have been? My goodness. She said, this is a quote from an email that she wrote back in 2010 to Jeffrey Epstein. But why, I don't understand. Don't you just get me to be your house assistant? This is what she said to Jeffrey Epstein. I am the most capable and desperately need the money. She says, I am the most capable and desperately need the money. These people will do anything for money. Wow. So, yep, at one point she offered herself up for marriage. Of course, we know he wasn't into adult women. He was into little girls, teenagers. So unbelievable. The royal family, Prince William and his wife, made their first public appearance over the weekend since the arrest of his uncle. So, of course, a lot of people are saying royal experts slam Ferguson for begging a convicted pedophile during financial hardship. They're saying this is beyond the pale. If it was an isolated email, it would be bad enough. But majorly significant is the compounding effect, as it confirms how her horrifically bad judgment, her moral depravity, and her greedy ways, since she lived rather an extravagant lifestyle. Unbelievable. Such an extravagant lifestyle was still begging a pedophile for money. You can imagine. Well, she was always struggling with her finances. I think these royals, what they need to do is they need to give them a course in, okay, you're a royal, but here is how you protect your money. Oh, check the comments. Sorry. Give me one quick second here, folks. All right, folks, my apologies. I had to answer a doorbell and it was a long conversation. Let me see here. Oh, hey. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Checking my messages. This is how they force the government to negotiate with them. This is their reputation. Remember El Chapo? Joaquin. Oh, sorry. Somebody said Joaquin. This is how it's pronounced. Oh, I was pronouncing it. What? Joaquin. It's Joaquin. Thank you, ma'am. I don't know what that Instagram. Hello, it's raining on your side. Heavy rain in West Bay now. Let me look at the window. No rain. Kind of looks a little bit like it could rain though, but no rain. Okay, let me just see. Okay. All right, I do have a lot of work to do today. So I want to get moving because I got to get on the road. Don't think we're meant to hear the call. Yes, that's exactly right. That's why I muted myself. Okay, let me see here now. I need to log into this. Oh boy. Okay. All right, folks, let me leave it there because I do have a full day ahead of myself today. I got some manual labor. I got to get on the road and do some cleaning and stuff like that. So we'll touch bases tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Yeah, I think there's some rain in the forecast. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a safe and blessed Monday. And town is tearing up with rain. Really? Oh Lord, I got to put up my hair then. I don't want my curls to go floppy already. So I'll put my hair up and put on a little cap or something so I don't get too wet. All right. But yes, I'm doing some manual labor today. So I'm going to put on some work clothes. So if you see me, just ignore me because I'm working. Working, not twerking. All right, honey chill. Show in folder. Okay. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow. Be good or be good at it. You can choose. Being good shouldn't be that hard. We'll cover some more news items. Of course, tomorrow's Tuesday, so we'll have Health City in the house with us. And then I'm going to see if I can download this other video. But boy, this poor little town looks like this little city in Mexico is on fire. They're bombing stuff, big plumes of of smoke from all the fires and stuff like that. Stay off the streets. Oh my gosh. Whoa, crazy. All right, folks, see you tomorrow. Be safe. And if it's raining, please, you guys know, take your time on the roadways. Slow down, okay? Just slow down. All right, no speeding Gonzalez out there. All right, see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels and visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.